what a scene it was yesterday. Thousands of people across the country witnessed one of the few eclipses of its kind. For those who saw totality, the views were spectacular. Even during the partial eclipse, the sight was breathtaking. And as you look back at your pictures today, you may notice some things you weren't aware of actually during the moment.
That's right. And here to help make sense of what you captured is UT astronomer Paul Lewis. You've had a busy day, but we're glad you made time for us today to talk about what people captured on their pictures. And we got a lot of calls from folks who actually noticed in their photos a second shape, and they wondered, is it a glare or is it another planet? Any idea of what that could be? Do we have
near
a sense
the
of
sun?
Near the sun.
Near the sun. They might be talking about Venus on one side and Saturn on another side, and maybe a star Regulus nearer the sun. Regulus is a bright star in Leo. The sun was in Leo yesterday. So it was possible you might have seen 2 or 3 stars maybe. I absolutely did not look. And if that's what you're talking about, that's a reflection. Okay. That's an internal reflection in the optic system of the camera. So you see 2 crescents on the lower left. So those are just optical reflections. But there were star-like images in there as well, and they were likely Venus and Saturn.
The other question viewers had refers to the ground shadows that they saw underneath trees look like crescents. I think we have a picture from Gary Horn who captured this, and he's just curious about this and why the shadows had that shape.
Well, we demonstrated the Pinhole camera a number of times here, and I probably made hundreds of them over the last couple of months with schools and so forth. And when you make a little pinhole, whatever, it could be a candle. If you're projecting that through that pinhole, you'll see the candle flame in the bottom of that pinhole camera, just like you see the crescent shape of the sun through that pinhole. Whatever you shine through it, it takes that shape on the other end. And the longer that tube is, the larger the projection. We did a lot of that yesterday. We used colanders. Remember, we did the colander here. Well, we did that. Yeah. We used a cheese grater and made it a great eclipse.
Whatever you could grab,
we made a pinhole. Oh yeah, we did it with everything. I walked around and took pictures of the same thing they did from tree leaves next to the hotel and up and down, people's feet all over the crescents, and there was so much to do, so much to try to pay attention to. But when totality happened, you stopped all that nonsense. It was all sky, eyes on the skies.
Those are some of the best pictures, too, of people just looking. Definitely the best picture of the eclipse, but second best of people just amazed.
Yeah. And that little girl.
Oh, she was darling.
She was awesome, was she not? Gosh.
What about another situation that you all have been discussing? Almost a pink halo that is a rarity when it comes to eclipses.
Yeah, we at UT, we look at that thing 3 days a week with our students. It's called the, well, there's 6 layers. The core we don't see. The radiative zone we don't see. The convection zone we don't see. The photosphere we do. And you can see that pink edge just before the diamond ring effect. That's the chromosphere, or the color layer. And it's the layer above the photosphere and before the corona. When you block out most of the sun, or all of the sun in that case, you can see that. With filters, we can see the whole disk of the sun and those kinds of features. The loops that you saw, some of you got pictures of these loops. There's 2 more pronounced ones. They're called prominences, and they are clouds of hydrogen gas that flow along magnetic field lines, which actually provide a cooler medium for the hydrogen and that plasma of the corona to flow on. And so we see it as it's in the red part of the spectrum, which is why it's that color.
Paul Lewis sharing his expertise, answering some of your questions. Thank you, by the way, for sharing your pictures and your questions with us. And we're so thrilled to have you back. Yes. It's been a fun journey with you.
It really has been lots of fun doing this. It really has.
2024.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
You ready? Start packing. Okay.